Anyway. So yeah, if you couldn't tell at this point, I'm like trying to decide just what in the hell we are going to do next. Um, so we have several options. I should at least discuss what the options are for the moment. Um, the options are currently um, let's do this in text plates. Sure, why not? Apparently text plates was updated to be compatible with this version. We need phosphates. We need phosphates. We need and the phosphates will lead to molten aluminium. So that will lead to the molten aluminium. Excuse me, L, and that leads to which thingy was it again? It was a here. I'll do aluminium pulp. Oh come on, pulp. Ale pulp 2 is or pulp 1, excuse me. The pulp 1 is used in the cap 2s. So that's the cap 2. Which I could actually do the molten 1 now, but you know, if we're going to go the route of the molten aluminium, it's better to go all the way to 2. Um so and yeah, so no, cap 2's molten 1, not molten 2, but if we're going down there, we need to do molten pulp 2, which pulp 2 is the one that needs I think that's the one that needs the phosphate. Uh Stuff, things. I need to remember what the stupid name actually is. Oh, it's the pulp. It's the pulp 1. That's the phosphoric. Okay, cool. But we're going to go up to pulp 2 because it's steam to go into molten to do that stuff with the duralumin molten as well. So you need the phosphates to get the molten 1 for the cap 2. And the capacitor 2, that is, I think, required for just the circuits and empty neuromorphic chips. So that's going to come up later. The circuit 2s really is all that's for. Also, we've got Molly. Molly for aramid for stainless. Molly for aramid for stainless. That is also on the agenda. What is also on the agenda is fish. Just, just fish. Corlex. Muckmo. And our naughties. What else? And like a whole bunch of other stuff on this to-do list. We need a dedicated zinc and nickel dedicated. So zinc, nickel, all that beautiful stuff. All of that beautiful, beautiful stuff, especially since we now have, Muckmo and Fagnots, our naughties. Our naughties and our Corlex and our And Ziffo, we can't really do much with the Ziffo yet. Nor the... Actually, what will we do with Sea Sponge? What shall be done with Sea Sponge? Sea Sponge does these things. Why would I need these things? I can't do anything with the Microsyn J25 yet. Can I do anything with the Cytos? I mean, that's Microsyn J25, so I can't do anything with that yet. So I have no reason whatsoever to do Sea Sponge yet. So yeah, and then I mean, in terms of like scale, there's also scaling. There's oh yeah, Bodos. Bodos on the network, that would be part of the Corlex. Bodos as part of Corlex. Wow, Bodos to Corlex. That is another thing. Oh, yeah, we've got and Tufra. And Tufra. I think it's the Corlex too that needs the Tufra. Yeah, that stuff will go into Corlex, I think. No, I don't want that. Corlex! Caged Corlex through... Yeah, it's Bodos Kikalk Tufra. Bodos Kikalk Tufra. Alternatively, food I cannot make. Food I want to make. Wait, what? I want this. Like, I do actually think I want this. I mean, yeah, fish, more salt, but this does not consume Bodos or Tufra. Ah. So all of these things. So what should we do? What shall we do? We've got lots and lots of stuff to work on. Tons of things to do. Also, you know, something to do with bone meal, I guess. Also, why... So, people have been saying that Ulrich give more manure. And I thought I had looked at this and determined no, it's not. So, Ulrich gives 3 on that recipe, 5 on that recipe in 1200. If you throw raw fiber at it, and salt with the food and the bedding, which, no, I'm not ignoring bedding. Okay, 5 manure, 1200 versus Og, 4 manure, 1200. Okay, sure. You get 1 extra manure per cycle by using the Ulrich. Comparing food to food. Thing is, Muckmo exists. Muckmo now exists. I now have access to Muckmo, now that I have the artificial blood. And we can see, like, where's one that doesn't consume... Like, is there a version with just the food and not the fiber and salt? So we can make a even comparison? Let's see, that would be... There's one with salt, so it looks like either way I'm spending salt for muck manure 3 here. For muck manure 3. So we've got a lot. It's more. All right, short response. It's more. Okay, it's more. Lots more. But we can't actually make the food yet. So, yeah. What about without the food? What's the muckmo manure without the food? Manure 1. 6. 6 manure. 5k versus what was that? 12,000? 12,000 on the Ogs. So the muckmo is a, well, we don't know because I have to like compare with the modules installed. But muck manure 1. Okay, we've got Relesia and Falagi. Okay, sure. This is fine. To 6 manure in a muckmo pasture. I think that this is still the best recipe to get manure at this point in the game, even comparing to the +1 for the Ulrich versus the Augs. So then what are Augs used for? Literally nothing. Just for reference, Augs at this point in the game have become outclassed by other things for each and everything that they produce. They are now going to be used as food for other creatures that have higher outputs. So you will still need Augs, just not for manure or for bone meal, because obviously Ulrich's is better at both, apparently. And yeah, you can like get everything you need out of the Ulrich's, honestly. But yeah, you still need the Aug. You can use them for power, sure. But you could also use them as food. As glorious food. Granted, I can see there is an argument considering that they are cheaper. They are cheaper. They are cheaper but with lower output. So you are trading simplicity for complexity to increase the efficiency of the output. Are you even moving? No. Why I no have green? Why I no have green? Why I no have you? Why I no have you? Why I no have bone meal? Oh. There's a slight problem here. Ever so slight problem. Cages. Cages. Beautiful and glorious cages. That will make it move again. Another reason to hate the cage logistics. Yet another reason to not like cage logistics. I am really tempted to just bring in the bone meal from the Ulrich to feed this. It's really tempting. Really tempting. But yeah, you're technically were moving. You're no longer okay, it should be going now consistently because it's going to pull cages in here preferentially from the stuff and things. I did that? But that's not ideal. That is not, no, do that side, please. Please, that side first. Okay. moving on. Oh yeah, and then there's like dedicated routes and, you know, circuit ones and all that good stuff. Getting things onto the train network. So yeah, just, you know, circuit ones and Moondrop. So Moondrop. C1. Wow, I can't write clearly. So we've got stuff. So what do you want to do? What shall we do of all of these things? I'm pretty sure that Pyandon would likely vote Corlex, but that's going to take a lot of time to actually get the Tufra going. We have the Bodos. We need to make a station for the Bodos to get them onto trains, and then also get a spot for Tufra with Corlex. So that will be a big mission, and then in the end, it's, you know, it's actually just plastic. In the end, it's just plastic. That's all we really get out of it at the moment by going down Corlex. There's fish for fish oil and urea out of it. Just plastic? Of course, Pyandon now shows up and is like complaining about it. It's like, just plastic? Yeah. But how many ways are there of getting plastic in this mod? Just gonna toss out there the concept of, that's a good recipe. This is the Corlex. Don't ever do this. No. We've got like, we've got lots of, we've got this. I mean, we've got this. The basic recipe. This the one that you have to do in the early game to progress. This aromatic syngas. Time to nerf stuff. Didn't you already increase the amount of plastic required for a lot of stuff? A lot of processes? Just increased the demand? You've already increased the demand for plastic by, I think, didn't some stuff go up by a factor of 10 on the demand for plastic? Pretty sure some stuff went up by a factor of 10. So, yeah. Oh, and we also were talking about the fact that, hey, Arthurians. Yeah, not a single one of the Arthurian recipes doesn't use an egg, so you need assisted embryology to even do Arthurians. You know. And, you know, Scrondrix, the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs don't use eggs, you know, because that makes sense, because, sure, the reptiles have to grow from eggs. Dinosaurs, no, they don't need to grow from eggs. They don't need to grow from eggs. They are dinosaurs. They are aliens. No, they are. Scrondrix are dinosaurs. Excuse me. But Scrondrix are clearly dinosaurs. They are clearly, like, of all people who would know, I would know. That was what I wanted to do research on. It's they're totally reptilian like. I mean, technically speaking, Pyandon, every single animal in this case, if it's lizard like, if it's dinosaur like, if it's mammal like, if it's bird like, they're all coming from eggs. They're all coming from eggs, even the mammals, technically. It's just differences in how the eggs develop and where. That's all there is. It's just, oh, hi. That's getting a little bit closer to my cap. So my cap is like 780? 780 megawatts is what I have cap. So out of 780, we're at 580, so like 200 megs left. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This could be a slight issue in the future. How am I full? I am full with stuff to get rid of. Hmm. Anyhoozle. So fish. Right. I've gone and started making these things. They need fish. So we're gonna, like, not request any more fish, because I sort of want to have some fish to start fish farming at some point. That would be nice. I'll stick them in here so that they don't get used. So what are we gonna do? Who wants to do phosphates versus Molly versus fish versus Corlex versus Mukmo versus the Fagnots versus, like, zinc, dedicated nickel, dedicated moondrops, dedicated circuit ones. We've got lots of options. Lots of options. We could also do dedicated Vraux, dedicated red science. We can do dedicated green science. We can do lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. Molly is so fun. Oh, okay. Okay, you want to see Molly going into aramid and stainless. Now, I will note that Molly, in and of itself, not such an issue as compared to the other stuff that will come after. So, dedicated vat brains. Sure. So the this process, the work involved here for the stainless would also involve setting up. This would require setting up unslimed iron processing for 10 yellow belts from the processed iron step. So, like, completely killing all of this, that will die, and get replaced with the rest of the iron chain up through unslimed iron for, 10 yellow belts of ore. Just casual. We're so casual around here. In scale. The aramid. Outside of the molybdenum will require aluminum plates, which is sort of why I wanted to do this this phosphate aluminum cap, this phosphates into aluminum first, because I do want to have aluminum on my network. And then there's the TCL stuff, but we've got stuff. Hello, Slamonite, welcome. We have finished up the artificial blood and have started making our initial creatures that use said artificial blood. Am I not making more of these? Oh, right. Of course I'm not, because it's a demand on those, and I, for some reason, didn't want to do anything with them. What can I even do with Zipir right now? If anything. I mean, I can make the wreath. There's that. Probably have the reefs. They require the eggs. Which I can make. Hey! We can make the eggs. Immortal Sniper, you missed finishing off the artificial blood. You missed finishing up the artificial blood. So the artificial blood is done. It is it is done now. Completely. And we're just trying to decide what to do next. What shall be next? So this again, this would require setting up fish. Oddly enough, something we can do with eggs without having the assisted embryology tech. Like, hey, here's an example of something that involves eggs that does not require the assisted embryology tech. Unlike Arthurians and unlike Xenos. Which we have Xenos now, but we can't do anything with them because we need assisted embryology to do the eggs for them. So even though I could set something up for them, I can't actually make the eggs yet. And now the tech even to make the Xenos is locked behind assisted embryology. So yeah, stuff, things, stone wool, and fish. So I would need fish, and phytoplankton apparently, but eh, eh. I don't like that it's iron ore. Probably would go with the glorious flue gas on this. The wonderful flue gas. So there's an option again. Just what would I do with it? I can only full render it at this point in the game. That's all I can do is full render the Zipier to give me arthropod blood that I can't do anything with outside of some organic solvent. Okay, I could do organic solvent through arthropod blood. The thing about that is that I can get the arthropod blood directly out of the Vraux at, or can I? No, is it the Vraux still? I can do that. Hey, we got a tech. Yay! I can do purified quartz now. I can do purified quartz, and I now have access to the best use of sand in the game. The best use of sand. The wonderful god tier gravel recipe out of sand. My preference, my own personal preference. I like this recipe. I like this recipe just as a consistent source of iron oxides and glass. It does give you the gravel that you have to deal with. Could make it into stone wool, just saying, but that's a creosote expenditure, not a steam expenditure. Anyway, so this this being able to do individual things with a fish would be nice. Individual fish stuff would 40 fish blood. Okay, good. Sure. Yeah, recrush into more sand. That you can absolutely do. So I think in the end I'm just going to do the phosphates into the molten aluminium just to get some aluminium plates and duralumin onto my train network. That then can get used for aramid once Molly is set up. This would also, it would give me all of the phosphate stuff that gets used for various things. I forget, is it even the Molly chain? Is it even the Molly chain? Let me, hold up. I forgotten the outside inputs on the Molly chain. Molly! You there. You... Oh, right, it's filtration media. That's the big thing there. So then I have to do zinc first. Right, and we need some nitrogen for that. Okay. So it's just the filtration media that's the thing here, and some like oxygen and hydrogen. It's nothing too out of the like off the walls. But it is going to need activated carbon. Activated carbon, of course, is going to require zinc. So that's going to require uh, zinc chloride and coal dust, apparently. What phosphate mines used drill heads and syngas? Yes. Yes, drill heads and syngas on phosphate mines. Speaking of the phosphate processing chain, that uses a lot of pure sand. I think it's pure sand. Uh, the powdered phosphate rock goes into phosphorus acid out of, yeah, syngas and pure sand. The syngas, that's fine. The pure sand is space. So we're going to end up with yet another thing that gives us lots of tailings out of doing this. For the phosphorus acid, I will need to get phosphorus acid onto my network if I want to do anything involving Z3 reagent, Z3 reagent for, silver stuff. And it would be best to get this onto the network as it exists here rather than go up to the reagent on site, I think. Now the phosphine and phosphoric. What am I going to do to get phosphine excess into phosphoric? Because there are two options. We have saline that gives us a more phosphoric, and it gives us HCl, and it gives us oxygen, but it costs saline. However, saline is now just tar at this point in the game, so that's fine? Question mark. And in this case, I will absolutely put the excess into trains. I would absolutely put the excess into trains for this, just because it's rather expensive to make HCl, and this is like one of the better ways to get HCl consistently without having to, actually make the chlorine and hydrogen for it. Okay, because this recipe gives you less phosphoric from phosphine, and this one gives you 3 times more. 3 times more. And I will absolutely take that. We also need the phosphine itself on our train network for the light and dope silicon and quantum dots later. And we will, of course, need this stuff for the transistors, in particular, that get used for both the circuit 2s and the neuroprocessors. So, yay, there's that. And microchips and diodes are also circuit 2s. So, few things in circuit 2s. And then the actual phosphoric acid itself, aluminium pulp, and etching solution are the two main things that we will be using it for currently. We will not be using it for this trash of a recipe. Even though I've done this in the past, it's just it's too much phosphoric acid. It's too much, especially compared to there are other ways. There's this way of getting it that's a lot cheaper. Avoid spending the phosphoric acid wherever possible. Big suggestion. Hydrogen peroxide, nickel, chromium, aromatics, liquid nitrogen. Okay, that's whatever. Let's do it! Let's do the thing. Where are my phosphate mines? Phosphate mines, right here. Just a few of them. And they will need drill heads, which could be a problem, depending on where I do this. So, the Neo stuff has drill heads made on site, and unfortunately, or fortunately, so right here there's some phosphate, not a ton, just 5. They've 4 of which have a full billion in them. How much per second is 5 phosphate? Oh, hello. That's not quite a billion on these. There's a big phosphate mine here and a whole bunch of little ones right next to it. Oh, oh boy. That's a oh, and hey, there's salt. Glorious salt. More glorious salt. I can use both. I can use everything. I will use all of the things. I don't need to tap into like any of this. God, that's a lot of crude. That is a lot of oil. That is a lot of oil.